Hello, this is your weekly Space News Roundup for the 4th of July 2021, read by me, Philip Day of giant-leap.space. In today's episode, major OneWeb shareholder Bharti Enterprises pours another $500 million into the company. The House of Lords passed the space industry regulations into law, paving the way for UK launch. After last week's Gravitilab rebranding story, Shetland Space Centre have renamed to Saxavord Spaceport. Cornwall's Truro and Penwith College has opened the doors to the space-focused CSATT facility, and the hashtag Job of the Week this week comes from B2 Space in Bristol. Find us on patreon.com/giantleap for other formats, our awesome space store and unique membership perks such as access to our Discord server and early Roundup releases. If you'd like to feature your job as Job of the Week, head over to giant-leap.space to find out how. Bharti Enterprises activates option to invest further $500 million in OneWeb. Many of you will remember that Bharti Enterprises joined the UK government to purchase OneWeb a year ago, back in July 2020. Well, the company retained an option to invest a further $500 million if all KPIs were satisfactory from the LEO broadband provider, and with launches going regularly and to plan, they've exercised that option. This additional funding now means that the company considers itself fully funded, having raised $2.4 billion in total. OneWeb has been launching tranches of over 30 satellites per rocket steadily throughout the COVID crisis, with their 8th launch positioning assets in orbit that serve the North Pole, a feat that sets this constellation apart from other low Earth orbit competitors, though SpaceX's Starlink does now have plans to compete in those latitudes eventually. The Bharti investment places the UK government position in some degree of peril. After funding, Bharti, an Indian company, will own 38.6% of the company, whilst HM government will share a minority stake equal to Eutelsat and SoftBank at 19.3% each. This probably marks the end of OneWeb being the government's primary hope for a homegrown position, navigation and timing system, although it's hoped that the project will be funded through a UK company that completes all of the engineering and manufacturing in the UK, something OneWeb could never promise to achieve. Instead, HM government have changed their emphasis on this project to highlight the commercial success that the Bharti investment suggests is forecast. The Secretary of State from the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, Kwasi Kwarteng, said, "Today, additional $500 million investment in OneWeb by Bharti marks yet another vote of confidence in the company from the market. It's clear that investors see a strong future for this incredible, cutting-edge company and a robust commercial case for investment. The government's equity stake in OneWeb not only allows the UK to deploy low Earth orbit technology, but will put our country at the forefront of the small satellite market, which is set to rapidly expand over the years ahead. Now that OneWeb has met its original funding objective, I truly believe the company is fast becoming an asset to the British taxpayer, and I look forward to seeing their ambition realised to provide global broadband connectivity next year." After years of work and a pass through the Commons and Lords, the Space Industry Regulations 2020 will pass into law. First drafted by a team from the Department for Transport working under Whitehall Mandarin Paul Cremin, the regulations were widely reported upon over the last year as the government conducted an industry consultation. When that completed, the team took the new information away and did make quite important changes to their draft. You will remember that and the fact that it passed unscathed through the House of Commons in May. Well, this week the House of Lords also passed the regulations, which will be incorporated into law this summer as planned. This paves the way for UK space launch, and Giant Leap understands that companies such as Spaceport Cornwall are already working on their licence submissions to the new regulator, the Civil Aviation Authority, or CAA. I asked Paul Cremin, the DFT's commercial spaceflight regulations and policy lead, whose team produced the draft regulations, what comes next. His gratifyingly succinct answer boasts how close the UK now is to commercial space launch operations. He simply told me, "Launch 2022. On a slightly more serious note, Paul did add that subject to some final administrative processes, the space industry regulations will become law before the end of July. Paul quite rightly attributes huge credit to his own team, the CAA, the UK Space Agency, and the oft-overlooked Health and Safety Executive. All teams that have contributed huge effort to getting these regulations into a workable and passable condition. Shetland Space Centre has a new name, Saxavord Spaceport. Perhaps in a bid to align more closely with the PR success that is Spaceport Cornwall, Shetland Space Centre has decided to rebrand to Saxavord Spaceport, which they claim will make the facility, quote, synonymous with the new space economy. Saxavord, 2 words, is the name of the tallest local peak to the launch facility, and it overlooks both the launch area and the control centre housed at the RAF facility for which the hill serves as a namesake, RAF Saxavord. The new name is said to evoke a progression from Viking longships to Shetland spaceships, according to Saxavord Spaceport CEO Frank Strang. This is, of course, where the controversial Lockheed Martin and ABL Pathfinder rocket program is to launch from, so it will be interesting to see if any UK-built and operated rockets will now be attracted to the site following the rebrand. Thanks to your incredible engagement, Giant Leap could be gaining a volunteer to the team in the coming weeks, which I'll be sure to fill you in on, as well as potentially some industry expert podcasts where I discuss the space news and future with company CEOs and their senior leaders to give you insights about the future of our industry. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested to hear. Finally, for this cheeky plug, head over to patreon.com/giantleap if you'd like to add your support to the mix, or get in touch to discuss sponsoring an article, job advert, or more. Truro and Penwith College open the Cornwall Space and Aerospace Technology Training Centre. Hailed by the much respected Heidi Thyman and team, the CSATT Centre opened for the first time on Friday. The college plans to run courses for students, including adult courses, to encourage career transfers, which, as you know, is a cause close to the Giant Leap heart. If you'd like to find out more about the college, their new facilities, or their courses, head over to their website, linked in the description. That isn't a sponsored link, it's just an awesome one. This week's hashtag Job of the Week comes from B2 Space in Bristol. They're looking for a TT&C engineer / RF communications engineer to support the development of their launch vehicle and subsystems. It looks like a really interesting role with one of the UK's most eligible startup rocket companies. If that sounds good to you, you'll find the link in the description. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else there's a like button, please smash it. It's a great way to ensure Giant Leap gets the support we need to continue bringing you the news. On social media, we're using the hashtag Giant Leap, where we usually post several times a day. If you'd like to be a part of it there, come and join us there. Thanks for checking in, and until next time, remember that every giant leap is set up by thousands of small steps. You've been watching a giant-leap.space use Roundup.